Get your 5 fingers up when you
see Doc C.
Hey, we're having a great time here. As I told you, there's so much going on, Dr. B, in Halifax County Schools.
Tell us
Just
all about
so much going on. This robotics thing,
it's catching on like wildfire.
Catching on like wildfire. And I had an opportunity to meet with Mr. and Mrs. Joe and Lisa Croner, and I remember talking to them some time ago, talking about the vision of Halifax County Schools. Welcome to Facebook Live, Halifax County Schools, Sweet Tea with Dr. C. How you two doing?
We are doing fantastic.
Fantastic. You know, part of our vision as our mission is to create partnerships that will create a supportive and learning environment for all of our students.
Yes.
And we now have this wonderful partnership with the Croners to expand our STEM reach.
That's right.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we are now reaching into it. And we started last year, but this year we kind of we took it up a notch, did we not?
Oh, a big notch.
And we had a robotics tournament.
That's right.
Joe, tell us a little bit about the robotics tournament.
Well, if you missed it, it was the best day of the year, I believe, of the school year. The kids came out, and did they ever shine. They were there for the full day last Thursday doing the robotics. Now, this is the second tournament now that they participated in this year.
Yes.
And the teams, as we looked at the scores from the original tournament to this tournament, all stepped up their game. And when they were there together on Thursday, they were just magnificent. The coaches were great, the teachers were great, and the best part of it all was the students were great. They performed well in terms of what they did for a robotics competition, but they also performed well in terms of behavior, in terms of dancing. There was some good dancing going on.
We had a lot of things, because, and speaking of dancing,
movement,
that's action-based learning. Touch on that a little bit.
Well, when you talk about action-based learning, it's that kind of thing, that kinesthetic movement that students need in order to better retain information. And so when we do that, our students can better retain that data, and so it helps the students because they learn more.
That's right, because see, for me, I was a kid who had to move all the time, and y'all know Doc C, I've been here 3 years, and I'm always moving. And see, ABL, action-based learning, allows us to move and learn at the same time.
Moving with a purpose.
Moving with a purpose. And at the robotics competition, you would have just seen a lot of movement throughout the room. Am I right?
That was probably the biggest comment we heard from everybody that had taken one of these tournaments for the first time. They were amazed at the number of moving parts there are in this activity. It's just starts from the time they get there, they set up in the pit, to the time they go home after they've won their awards.
Yes.
It's just constant go, go, go. And they are learning so much throughout all of this, and the best thing about it is they really don't know they're learning because they're having so much fun.
That's right. That's right.
Learning is fun.
That's right. Because what we're talking about is strategies that engages minds.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. Exactly. We're engaging the student in such a way that they're having fun, they're staying totally engaged, and their brain is expanding at the same time. Tell me, why do you think robotics is just important to teaching and learning, Joe and Lisa?
I think there's so many components to this that are important and valuable. Robotics is something that is here now and will be a part of the future for as long as we are alive. When I was young, I began in the automotive industry, and they started to bring robots in. Now, robots can be something that you might want to fear because there is a possibility for job changes, but the reality is you need to program those robots. There's so many things you need to do with those robots. And when you think of the story about Paul Bunyan, when it went from an axe to the next stage, it changes. And so keeping pace with that change is critically important. And this is part of what the future holds for us. We don't know all the jobs, but this is a job that will be needed. And in addition to this program, it's not just the robotics, which is rampant throughout everything in business. It's also all the other skills that students learn in terms of how to function as a student and how to prepare themselves for the workforce, because
teamwork.
The businesses that get involved with this is critically important, and they get involved with this not only because it provides job skills that they need in the future, which are going begging today, but also it provides workers that fit the new workplace. They need to be able to communicate. They need to be able to lead. They need to be able to take charge, and all of those things are part and parcel. It is so amazing to see some of these students when they start this program, and we hear the stories over and over again. They can't do hardly anything but talk to their shoes. They won't shake your hands. They don't make eye contact. They're just by the end of this thing, they blossomed out. They have to present to judges. They present to local community leaders.
Yes.
And it's just amazing to see the transformation in the students. That not only that they are learning new things, but they have coming out of their shells. And Lisa's got one of the best stories I always love to hear.
Well,
Tell us about this story.
from my perspective, it's building blocks for the future of each of these students. They start in 4th grade, and they learn communication skills, presentation skills, public presentation. They develop and expand their math and physics learning, and they don't even know they're doing it. They're learning small things, and then they advance to more, they proceed to more advanced coding and different things. They learn about the scientific process and research. So it's all rolled into one package, but the kids are having so much fun.
Tell my favorite story about the two little fourth graders.
Two little 4th graders walking down the hall with their robotics T-shirt and their robots. And they were excited, and one little boy says, "Isn't geometry fun?" In my entire life in 4th grade, I would have never said that.
That's exactly right.
But they are learning, they're expanding, and they don't even realize because they're having so much fun doing it.
And see, the reason we're bringing in robotics is simply because I was going at the Walmart, Dr. B, and as I was checking myself out, you know what I see now? Those self-checkout signs.
Yeah.
Where I'm checking myself out. But Joe, that's a robot, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
That's a robot.
Absolutely.
And what you're seeing is called automation that's taking place. But you know what that robot has to have? A human that will repair it,
Yeah.
maintain it,
That's right.
and expand it. Am I right, Joe?
Absolutely.
And so we're bringing in kids who are able to do just that, because I want you to tell the story about the children who had a challenge because they didn't have their robot and something happened. Check this out, y'all.
There are many awards that are given out, and one of the awards that was given out was Against All Odds. Against all odds. There was a team that went into the robot design judging room, and that's part of the morning of the tournament. And when they got there, they started the process, and they realized that they didn't have their computer with them.
Uh-oh.
So the whole team, not one, but the whole team ran back to the pit to get their computer, came back running back into the judging room, and you have to realize that this is all timed, and they only had 5 minutes to get all of this stuff done. So they ran back into the room, short of breath, hardly could even compose themselves to be able to present, but did, and continued on. The next step was the computer wouldn't talk to the robot, which is what they were trying to do to begin with, and so they were flabbergasted again. But it did not stop them.
Resilience.
They continued to push through,
right?
and that, it's one of those things that is so critical to life. It's Murphy's Law. Something going to go wrong, it will go wrong, and you just have to be able to persevere, and they did. It was amazing to see.
And it was problem solving at its best, at its finest. You should have seen the kids huddle up, strategize, and implement, and then monitor. And it was just amazing to see them. You know what we didn't see? They didn't panic, Joe.
No.
They didn't.
They didn't cry about it.
No.
They got together, Dr. B, and they started working together.
Yes. And you know, Dr. Cunningham, one of the things I want to credit you for is the robotics tournament exemplified those 5 correlates we had with students. When we say strive for 5, the 5 correlates, with striving for 5 being the best way of life, but it also showed you how ready our students were, how respectful our students were, how resilient they were. They were proficient and they were triumphant. So Halifax is on the rise, and we want everyone to know about our STEM initiative and how our students are going against all odds to make things work for Halifax County Schools.
So we're preparing ourselves for the Super Bowl of robotics tournament, which is held at Halifax Community College.
That's right.
See, we're in the trenches. We're going to be better next year. So
Get ready.
Community College, our teams are going to be strong. I told y'all we're going to be strong. We're going to go in that thing ready, and we're going to be respectful and resilient, but we also going to let people know that you at Halifax County Schools House, and we're striving for 5 every single day. Joe, talk about this evening and what's going to happen at the board meeting.
Yes.
This is going to be fun. Tonight's board meeting will start with, prior to the board meeting, we will have all of the teams that were at the tournament, which includes all of the elementary schools and both middle schools. And both middle schools have 3 teams each. All the teams will be there and will be represented. For the first hour before the school board meeting, from 6 to 7, the teams will be presenting all of the awards that they won. And each team did win an award, so they'll present the category, they'll show you the trophy, present the category that they won it in. And it's very important when you hear and see what this tournament is all about. Many people have come through and said, I thought it was just robotics, but it is so much more than just robotics. So they'll present on
That's
that.
right.
Then in addition to that, we'll have 2 tables set up for the robots to run on. And so we'll have 3 to 4 teams with their robots, with the top performing robot teams, demonstrate how their robots performed on their missions. And it's a blast.
That's right.
Good.
So we want all of our vendors out there to know. We want all of our our hiring agencies to know that we're producing kids who can problem solve.
That's right. Responding to the
That's
labor
right.
market.
We can produce kids who can get down and if they have a problem, they're now understanding how to solve them.
Yes.
And that is a skill, right, Dr.
That
Beth?
is.
That you need to be successful in the workplace.
That's right. And based on our labor market data, we are preparing our students for the jobs that you will have for tomorrow.
That's right. So go ahead, Joe.
If I could just add into that, from a business perspective, this program is geared towards and focused on the students. But in addition to the students, we engage the business community, because the business community, it's critically important for the school system, the business community, to be in lockstep in terms of understanding what they need and being able to see what's coming back. We've had businesses get involved with this program, and after the first, I remember one of the first ones we had, the leader of the business community wasn't able to attend the tournament, and his vice president was there, and he called him on the road and said, "This is amazing. Not only are these students performing incredibly well, they outperform students that are coming out of college for interviews. This is what we need in a workforce." And so this is part and parcel to being able to say, this is what we need when we're trying to develop new students, develop new businesses. You got to have a workforce, and if you don't have it, you're not going to find businesses. And this is the
Great.
cornerstone to that.
Because we were at a business partner, McLean, right?
Yes, McLean.
And we got to see their whole supply chain and logistics and things like that. And now our kids will be able to strategize and problem solve.
That's right.
And understand how to solve issues because we're practicing every day.
And it also addresses those soft skills too, Dr. Cunningham. When you talk about the students working together, that was one of the main things, the oratorical skills, because they had to project or they had to present their presentations to others. So that was the coup de grace, I like to say.
Ooh, the coup de grace.
I like that.
The coup de grace.
Yes.
We are on the road. We are doing our thing in Halifax County Schools. We are definitely on the rise. Joe, what else would you like to add about what we're doing in Halifax and how it's having a personal impact on you and Lisa?
We were engaged with a number of judges that we brought in from the local community, and they were blown away not only by the activity in the school but by the students and what they delivered. So they were getting a vision of what is happening now in Halifax County Schools, not anything that happened in the past, but what's going on now and what an impact that has. And we had the chamber president in who talked about and said, this is what we need in a workforce. This is what we need to do for recruiting new businesses. They've got to understand the workforce is here, and that's what they need.
Rebranding.
We're rebranding. We are rebranding, and we're out here doing our thing in Halifax County Schools. So, Dr. B, are we charting a new course? Are we aligned?
We are charting a new course. We are aligned, and what we have, this is a keen opportunity to demonstrate those pockets of excellence that we talk about.
That's right.
The pockets of excellence, to let the community know, and then run tell that.
Run and tell
Run and
that.
tell that.
Get your 5 fingers up. Bring your children back to Halifax County Schools. Strive for 5 with us because we're living a 5-star life, and we thank you for this wonderful partnership that will continue year after year.
Yes, Halifax is on the rise.
That's right.
Keep up the great work.
Good work.